check. Record, check. Built-in stream, check. YouTube output, yay! As always, I'm still slowly dying. So, today, I plan on playing Thrive, which is technically free, but I pay for it because I really like this game and I want to see it succeed. So, what are we doing in Thrive? That's the hard part. You see, I sent... Cool. I sent my friend a thing about what my food source should be. The problem is, I didn't get an answer. So basically I asked, hey, what type of run should I do by choosing a food source? Because if my food source is the sun, then I'm not going to start at the hydrothermal vents. And I'm not going to, I'm gonna test something real quick. Game is way too noted. Yeah, but if I'm gonna become a plant and basically photosynthesize, then I need to start in the warm pond. If I'm going to be an iron eater, then I want to start in the hydrothermal vents. If I'm going to be a heat eater, which requires me to turn off lock, then I want to start in the life as we know it lock. Then I need to start in the hydrothermal vents. If I'm going to be a hunter, it doesn't really matter where I spawn, but some places are easier to perform the hunt in. And there's also the option of being a grazer, a prey animal, and just walking around and eating whatever. Thing is, I'm really bad at deciding which of those to do by myself. So I asked a friend, he read my message, and then left me on red. As such, I don't know what I'm doing yet. And apparently I have decided to become a fly, and I am just rubbing my arms together. All of my friends are offline. Understood. It has been decided. To the warm little pond we go, because we have been decided to be have our food source as the sun, which means we're being plants, which isn't the most interesting thing to watch, but it is pretty fun in my opinion.
Sorry, before the late reply, I was watching the Fat Electrician.
Okay. This button, this button, this button. Welcome to the tide pool. The Karja Police Tide Pool. Whee! Oh, there's food. So, the way that this game works is the longer you survive, because I haven't changed the settings from default, I didn't change off lock, but the longer you survive, the closer you just get to evolution. You don't need to actually specifically seek out resources for evolution, but if you do, you evolve faster, so. But yeah, there's 5 food sources, and so it really depends on what food source I want to go for, and for that I needed help.
Just like to welcome.
Because there's the sun, if you decide to become a plant. There's the hunt, where you decide to hunt other cells, because you can just engulf other single-celled organisms and devour them.
Yeah.
There's iron. Don't know how you did that. There's the thermoplast, which requires life as we know it to be turned off, and it gives you an ability that doesn't exist in the real world, but theoretically could have existed, which is... Hello. So we live in a tide pool. I think... there's no reason to leave the tide pool. But yeah, there's like nitrogen and everything. If I go into the editor... Vocaloids. Photosynthesis.
Synthesis.
Excuse me. Yeah, so hydrogenase turns glucose into ATP, which is what our cells actually use to do stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, it turns glucose into ATP, and it's more effective the less oxygen there is in the environment. Then there's metabolisms, which are protomitochondria. The more oxygen they have, the more effective they are, but they basically do the same thing as hydrogenase. They just are more effective in a high oxygen environment. Nitrogenase is the ability to produce ammonia in an area, not... If I go into here, yeah, produces ammonia from nitrogen and ATP. Also performs glucolysis to produce ATP from glucose, which is, yeah, it's not useful for staying alive, so it's not a food source. You got rustacinin, which produces turns iron into ATP. Based off the carbon dioxide rates, to which I think the carbon dioxide rates are better when you're lower. Oh, cool. Turns hydrogen sulfide into glucose, which is easier at the thermal vents, but basically just allows you to, like, become a grazer and just swim around and eat things. Because the more hydrogen sulfide you have, the more glucose you have, the more glucose you have, the more ATP you have, and so long as you live long enough, you create ammonia and phosphate, right? And toxisome is the hunter's option, basically, where you just produce poison naturally over time. Chemoreceptor, chemical detector, slime jet. Slime jets are intriguing. They produce mucilage, which speeds you up and slows down everything else, which is useful for getting away. Celia, returning speed, flagellum. Yeah. Is movement speed. Perforator pilus basically is just protection spikes, which at some point we'll probably get. nucleuses, chemoplasts, nitroplasts, vacuoles, signaling agents, bioluminescent vacuole, which is to be implemented. Binding agents, mitochondria, chloroplasts, ferroplasts, lysosomes, toxins. There's everything in this game.
A bunch of science words.
Well, this game is an incredibly... an incredibly realistic thing. It's suggesting I grow cycloids, or in other words, get the sun. Yeah. Now here's an interesting choice. I could choose to change my cell membrane from that of a normal basic cell to something like a silica, calcium carbonate, cellulose, or chitin. Which means basically I can become like... This makes me weaker to taking physical damage, but more resistant to toxin damage. Which, if I die enough times, becomes really useful. But yeah, there's a ton of options. And it's best that I just select one and go for it. Fluidity changes mobility and health. Coloration of my character. This is a fun one. What your species is. Tolerances is new. I actually have no idea what this is. And it's also part of the reason why we needed... Oh, I see. Well, I needed to know, like, what we were doing. See if I keep the flexibility that low.
Praise the sun.
How much oxygen cause damage your species can mitigate before harmful events? Huh. Anyways, I'm gonna undo all that. Yeah. Got it. Resistance to the sun before it deals us damage. We started at the top, so that's automatically taken care of. Anyways. Cycloid. I wonder, should I take... Silica gives me physical resistance, but prevents toxin resistance. Whereas calcium carbonate gives me toxin resistance. Calcium carbonate makes more sense in the long run, because if anything, I'm just going to put a bunch of spikes on the outside of myself, you know, like actual plants. I'm probably not going to try and cover myself with poison. Anyways, it's now just trying to suggest that I gotta rust a season. Sunloaf. Oh, okay. Sunloaf. But yeah. Long story short, I have no idea what I'm actually doing. So glycoloids produce glucose based off the intensity of the sunlight and the rate of carbon dioxide, which basically means that endosymbiosis. Huh. So I could eat other things and then just keep them alive inside me? That's basically what humans did. For the time being. For the time being, my glycoloids match my osmoregulation, which is a fancy way of saying, whoop, that so long as I'm not moving, I won't die. Anyways, let's see what type of plant I can become. Plant names are hard, and I have no idea what to name my thing. Flower. Flowerington. That sounds like something an actual scientist would name a plant in a more modern society. Flowerington. So yeah, in theory, I should be able to sit still and produce glucose. If it was day. It appears to be night. Yeah, it's currently not bright enough for me to do that. Oh, I ate something. I'm just gonna keep eating things for a while. Not that it's my actual food source, but because if I eat 5 things, I gain a new defense strategy. And plus, I plan on changing my cellular membrane, which means at some point I won't be able to eat things, so. And I'd rather not die 5 times to unlock the option. Toggle sprinting. Yeah, what's relevant is your ATP. So long as you have ATP, you're not about to die. That's poison. Large amounts of it, too. Oh, I can evolve. Alrighty. Oh! That species went extinct! It appears the migration manager. Oh, cool. I can tell it to do that. That's fancy. Yeah, why are you repeating all the tutorials? I am going to turn that off. Excuse me. Oxygen protection is too low. Increasing tolerance of oxygen protection. I see, so that increases bioprocess speed. Cycloids come first. Behavior. Membrane. I did not unlock... Oh. I should have unlocked my metabolism. I guess that's because the environment is changing. The speed isn't slow enough. I don't have a nucleus. I guess I might as well put in a rusticity. It would be greatly useful, but... Still got 30 points. Grow a little bigger. That idiot just went and ate poison.
Spore cell stage.
Basically, except it's actually logical.
It had to be bare bones. You spend like very little time in it.
Well, to be fair, apparently Spore had a ton of cut content.
Yeah.
I am full of iron.
I think the thing that has like the most code is the space stage.
Oh hell no! It is the city stage probably.
You spend the most time in the space stage.
Yeah, you spend the most time in the space stage because there's nothing frickin' there.
Fair enough. I usually stop playing at that point.
I think I just got my third engulf, which means we should unlock toxins now. We are not hunters, however I am definitely hunting because I want to get the spikes as a matter of self-defense before we turn into plants. And there is a lot of iron in this environment.
Arcane Sniper.
I love sometimes just seeing things run as my species just moves. Oh, I ate something. Wait, that wasn't my race? I ate two things. Hooray.
Nom nom.
Nom nom.
Nom nom.
Yeah, now we have the Toxisome, so we can turn ATP into poison, which is useful for self-defense. And we should have the Perforator, which also defends against toxins, which means that the having an outside of these allows you to go for physical resistance because you don't have to worry about getting poisoned.
Ooh.
I can turn you into a chloroplast? So I can just turn this guy straight up into... more sun efficiency without even needing to get... Huh. Neat. I don't think I can transform for the time being, then. Yeah, metabolisms turns glucose into ATP with more oxygen. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's a chemosynthesizing protein. I don't need that. I need rusticin. Yeah, this turns hydrogen sulfide into glucose, which is only useful if you live by the thermal vents. Now, in theory, I should just hold one of those species inside me, so that way I could turn them into the organelle. I do like the fact that if you're digesting food, you do kind of just start crapping. It is kind of funny to me that you just start expelling all the excess stuff that your stomach couldn't hold.
I just found the VeggieTales April Fool's Day posts.
Is VeggieTales still around? I honestly don't know.
Rebooted, I think. It
I
looks
know
terrible.
that there was the new version that was made by somebody else that was absolutely trash.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still running. Breaking news, Larry finally finds his hairbrush. The pirates finally get jobs. Where have all the staplers gone returns to Broadway. Larry's pizza order is finally delivered on time.
Pizza Angel, please come to me. That's so funny. So I need to find and re-eat the Mingama Chigula. That sounds annoying, but hey. If that's what it takes, that's what I'll do. Oh, that's intriguing. So I can change the... way to rotate you, please. Oh well. So I can change how long the flagellum is to make it consume more ATP, but also make us move faster. Fascinating. to somehow relocate the species I once ate. Look at that tiny little flagellum. Oh well, looks like I'm gonna have to give up on endosymbiosis. That is interesting, though. Wow, this is an oxygen-rich environment. Toxicity anise. That's not what we're looking for. Why did I sound excited? Yoink. Oh, ads have started. Not like there's anything happening anyways. As long as I have iron or glucose, I should be able to stay alive. Cyaniacin. So if I could get my hands on that, I could turn it into a chloroplast. Might as well.
That's cool.
What's cool?
Just watched a video where they're doing a controlled demolition on a bridge. The explosives go off. Bridge doesn't fall, just stays there.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Caption: they don't make bridges like they used to. I also found a photo that I'm gonna send that you can watch. Check later.
How is there a ton of that species, and then I decide to try and turn it into an organelle, and they just vanish? Oh, you're my species. These guys are hurting themselves by existing, which tells me that they're swimming too much. I'm gonna stop trying to perform osmoregulation. Or, not osmoregulation. I'm gonna stop trying to perform endosymbiosis, was the words I was actually looking for. Oh, that's mucilage. Ow, you prick. Whatever, I can just sit still. The benefits of being a plant. I already got what I wanted anyways. Boy. Only that was my own species, so whatever. Symbiosis, cancel, and I just won't try that again. Membrane, I'm going to change to silica. This will mean it's hard for us to move around, but it's also whatever, because we are a plant. It doesn't matter if we cannot move. At base osmoregulation, we produce ATP faster than we lose it. So we no longer have the ability to engulf things, but that's honestly irrelevant to us. Because we don't plan to. We're not hunters. We don't eat. We just sit. I can, however, still use my spikes to stabby stab people. Gives me ammonia amongst other lovely resources. Doesn't look like many things have involved poisons. Yoink. Pressure, temperature, nitrogen, oxygen, dioxide. And I forgot to switch out of ad break. What's new? I'm not sure why that guy's trying to hunt something. He literally lacks the ability to. It thinks I should get Rusticine, which doesn't make sense at this point. What I think is I should remove the flagellum, which costs energy, but it will reduce my total overall cost. Metabolisms are fine to keep where they are. It's wildly increased my thing, so I'm not going to do that yet. Sulfide into glucose. So there's lack of ammonia and phosphates that would actually be useful. I do not have 5 cycloids. There we go. I now have 5 cycloids. This is relevant for unknown reasons. Making myself rigid. Now we sit here. The fun part is I actually don't need multiple spikes. I can actually just keep one spike because there's binding agents which allow you to combine multiple of your own species together. And so if I just point a spike out and then bind with an ally and we just all point spikes out.
Spiky ball.
That flowering tin just got stolen. Yeah, they're just sitting there doing nothing because they don't need to. Let me join them and sitting there doing nothing. See? Like this. Now we have protection from these degrees of attack by just sitting next to each other.
Spinach.
Oh, there goes my guys. Where are you guys going? What happened up there that all y'all are suddenly so interested in that direction?
For some reason, I don't know.
Back off, I have a spike. Doesn't look like anything up here evolved for poison, so I'm not particularly concerned. Excuse me.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, melanosome is interesting because it produces melanin. to counter the effects of radiation from the sun.
Mm.
So let's move my perforators to the bottom and my cycloids up.
Yeah, no, I can put into your next trans. I know, but hasn't she driven like?
Now I'm a dual wielding spike. I got a spike on the one end and a spike on the other. Hooray! It's night. Gotta wait for the sun to rise. I love how many flowery Flaringtons you can just see sitting there doing literally nothing. We just sit still, we vibe,
Just vibing.
and the sun comes up and suddenly we have glucose. We have become plant.
We are plant.
Since there's nothing really else to watch, we might as well watch as my organelles do the funny. Because organelles will at one point replicate based off the amount of ammonium phosphate you have. So you actually have to split into like evolution. The editor is caused by you actually splitting in two. There it goes. Boop. It's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm performing mitosis, I think. And then for one of my species just came up right next to me and started to chill.
Just sitting in an iron deposit.
Oh, we're just sitting in iron. We don't have the ability to eat iron anymore. We just sit here and chill. There's my
Your
spikes.
species yearns for the mines. The iron mines.
Oxygen rate needs to be increased. At this point, it's our fault that there's this much oxygen in the environment. So these produce glucose but lack the ability to consume glucose, I think. They get storage. No, they also perform glucolysis. They just don't perform it as well. Actually, no, wait. If I revert both of these, I could get a nucleus. Because as well, it's true, my thycaloids won't produce, they'll produce 10 glucose per second. This will consume 20, and this consumes 12. But basically, I should be able to sit still long enough to evolve. If I change the thing to day, how much glucose do I make? You make glucose at a rate of... I have no idea. The important part is whether or not we have enough ATP. What determines whether or not we have enough ATP is how much glucose we have. So long as we produce more glucose than we lose, we should be fine. Also, is there just no other species in this area anymore? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. This is your lesser evolved forms.
Okay, the sun's... We're starting to get sunlight. If our glucose starts going up, we're set. It's stagnated. It's going up. We can survive. We have successfully evolved a nucleus without fear of death. Our population is pitiful, though. We only have 995 of our species. I say as if that isn't like a lot of microbes. I wonder if that is a lot of microbes. Thinking about it, I probably should have become a hunter for the sake of the stream. Oh, everybody's moving. Huh. My cells become more active during the day. Intriguing. Oh, that guy just bonked me. That guy also.
The daily migration of the plant.
I think it's because at max light, it doesn't actually consume much resource. We can move around just fine without it affecting osmoregulation regulation too much. So I need to slowly replace my thycoids with chloroplast and get enough metabolosomes that I can replace them with mitochondria at some point. But for the time being, we chill. Oh wow, actually our species wildly died out in that generation. There's a ton of species everywhere, but in our pool, there's basically 4 species, and all of them are plants. Oh, these are proteins, not organelles. I've been calling them the wrong thing this entire time. How embarrassing.
Oh.
I can't make chloroplast because we lack the necessary number of generations with thycaloids. Whoops. Whatever.
bioluminescence.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything in the current version of the game, but whatever. I kind of wish there was time dilation, but at the same time, it makes sense that there isn't based off how realistic the game's supposed to be.
You lost a lot of your population. You're down to 700 now.
Yeah, no, it was 200 of us died off in the previous generation. Also, we only live in this environment. We don't live anywhere else. We haven't migrated at all. Partially because that's something that requires me to manually do it, but also at the same time, we're never going to find a better environment than here. I'm not sure how any of us died. I mean, we're pretty weaponized. You know, considering we're playing this on April 1st, I guess having a game where we literally sit there and do nothing kind of does make this an April Fool's joke, though not intentionally. Also, I'm kind of surprised by the numbers of flowering tents that are just sitting around still unevolved. Oh! We reached the point of day where the plant cells become active. It is really funny to me that that keeps happening. Where it's just like 95% sunlight has been achieved. Yeah! And they all just start running everywhere. Oh, that guy has a small nucleus sitting inside him. I guess he's growing his right now. This one doesn't. Oh. Hey. And the light level has decreased enough. Oh! How are we... Oh! That explains it. We just split off and became a new species.
Ah.
Yeah, excluding the Iscadai Menigium, if you actually look at this guy, and this guy, notice something? They're all just meat. Vacuole to increase the amount of food I can store makes sense. Don't need ferroplast. We could get a nitroplast, but honestly, there's no reason to, because I would still need phosphates, which I'm not going to get while sitting still.
Yeah.
Don't really need binding agents. Don't need chemoreceptor. I could get another perforator down here as protection. Don't really need it. We're not being hunted. Could just increase size, but I guess it would be better to get some more metabolisms. So that way I can start working on unlocking the mitochondrion. I should not have started yet. Oh well, whatever. With the vacuole, our storage is amazingly increased. Which means it will be easier to make it through the nights without having to worry about food.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo.
It's really funny because our species is actually thriving, yet somehow our population is going down.
Asuki manga. Okay, that's my.
We vibe. We sit here. We vibe. We sit here. We vibe. Oh, it's the time of day where all my friends become active.
Yeah.
I really love that. I find that so funny that keeps happening.
Species Flower Flowerington.
Flower Flowerington here. We're here to flower floweringly. There's all look, everything else in this patch except for us is dead, and I don't know why. And our species count is going down, and I don't know how. Oh, it's supposed to be 6 generations. That explains it. I kind of wish I could organize them by name. Oh well.
Yeah.
We are now green.
Very plenty.
I'm being assaulted by my food that just literally attacked me. with this, we have finally reached the point where everybody stops. Anyways, we finally reached the point where the next generation should be able to have chloroplasts, so that's good. Oh, I think I know what's killing so the bigger versions of me are surviving just fine because we have enough O2 resistance. I think the smaller versions of me that haven't split or evolved yet are dying to lacking oxygen resistance.
Ah. Bigger ones are killing the smaller ones, so you'll probably get better once all the smaller ones are done and all the big ones have time to percolate.
Well, I mean, I just think the smaller ones aren't resisting the oxygen and are slowly burning to death via anaerobic respiration. Which is what we do. Oh no, our glucose levels are slowly depleting in the middle of the night. Whatever shall we end? The sun's rising. Who cares? Seriously, how is my species dying out at all?
Yeah.
I mean, so long as I don't die, our species shouldn't go extinct. And I have no plans on being stupid enough to get myself killed, so hey. Excuse me. Banana. Rotate. I just heard something get in a fight. It kind of feels like I'm drifting even though I'm motionless.
Yeah.
Hey! We went up by 44! Also, there's more species that are just us. Every species here is just us. Just because you put on a silly hat and tried to pretend you weren't us doesn't mean you aren't us. So if I delete 2 cycloids... Oh, wow, you are a lot bigger than I thought. Okay. Uh-huh. So this does not perform, generation. It only produces glucose. It's possible to rotate cells, but the thing is, I forgot which button that is. That's the wrong button. That's not what I need. Options, inputs. I am literally that stupid, huh? Now we're working on unlocking the mitochondria. Because as we get more chloroplasts and mitochondria...
Was it just scroll wheel?
No, it's D.
Oh.
A and D. like something got in a fight. So we should be able to make binding agents, which will allow multiple of us to stick to each other soon. And we should be able to...
Becoming a plant.
Get mitochondria. So yeah, I just have to slowly replace all of the organelles in my body, or all the proteins with organelles. I forgot to reorganize the growth order. Oh well. Until we become a multi-celled organism. Because this game actually is supposed to, in theory, the end goal of this game, full life simulation. Which sounds like insanity to me, but hey, they're the ones trying to pull it off, and I wish them the best.
That's all you can hope for.
Huh?
That's all you can hope for. Wish for the best.
On one hand, I'm curious what stories I've updated on today. On the other hand, I know for a fact that a majority of them are just going to be baits. Are you okay, phone? You seem to be crashing, like an inordinate amount.
Your phone's crashing?
I looked at a page and it crashed, and then I switched to the next page and it crashed again. Which technically makes it a Chrome error, but not my phone. As always, our species is somehow depleting despite being the most successful survivor in the area. Binding agents! $55 for a single binding agent? Damn, they're expensive. So, this is how binding agents work. Step 1. Rotate to the direction you wish to stick to your ally. Step 2. Hope your ally doesn't move far enough away. He's running! No! Get back here! This will be easier once everybody else decides to basically, effectively go to sleep. There we go. And now... boop! Ta-da! We have become a multi-celled organism. You're effectively an aggressive cactus, if I'm completely honest.
Aggressive cellular cactus.
Have you seen all the spikes we have? You look at me and tell us we're not a cactus. Look at us!
Cactus.
Exactly. Yay, we've completed Thrive.
At least you're not a singing, dancing cactus.
So this is where Thrive kind of falls apart. Because the way that the editor works, and this really doesn't work. So you select this, you can modify the cells, and then you can change the cells in here. But the thing is, if I add this to the cell, this affects the overall mutation points. And the overall mutation points just aren't enough to actually... What's the word I'm looking for? They're not enough. They're just not enough. Because you can duplicate and modify various types. Hey, pal. But the problem is, if I want to change this guy to make him more... Yeah, so there's radiation and everything. You unlock everything automatically, which is something I'm really grateful for. But it's like, if I want to upgrade this guy, and I change him, but then I want to add him to this, that's the same cost. They're both the same cost, which makes mutation really hard to pull off. Because let's suggest that I want to turn this into, like, oh, this guy's going to be our power source. And thankfully things are cheaper, like our mitochondrions and everything are cheaper. But it's like, I have to delete these, replace it with this, and then go back here, modify this guy, go back here, and then stick this onto here. And because I did all of that, delete you, put that there. Because I did all that, I used up a ton of power and got not great results. Like, I did all that evolution, and I technically didn't actually make it past just making my step. Those guys are dancing. I'm grateful they changed the prices of everything, but yeah, there's just... You have to edit so many individual cells. So I kind of wish that cell editing and then putting them onto their things were just two separate costs rather than one singular cost. Also, it looks kind of funny when you just spawn a completely new body just out of nowhere. Yeah, the next goal is to become macroscopic, which really doesn't work in the game at all. That guy already got 3. How did you pull that off? You only move during the daylight.
Aggressive plant.
I am a cactus. Holy the little guy. Also, holy crap, the little guy is like incredibly resistant to dying. Why had I reached full ammonia? I'm kind of surprised this little guy isn't dead. The real interesting thing is, like, I can intentionally change what cells are made of what. So, yeah. It's interesting, but it's difficult and annoying to use at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can also change, like, what each cell is made out of now. So different cells have different structures with different points. This guy's gonna be our chloroplast. Oh wait, no wait, you're not our chloroplast, you're stem, which means that you're mitochondria. So you're our power source. Petal shall become chloroplast. And then I'm gonna duplicate petal and make bark. And bark's entire thing is it's going to basically just be a small outer wall of spikes. But yeah, because I went and edited all those, hey look, I can't actually attach any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, success! Goal complete. We have become plant. Yeah, thinking about it, I probably should have aimed to become a hunter or a grazer because those would have been way more interesting than becoming a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you turn off life as we know it, which is lock, I could just evolve immediately? Oh, I could. Intriguing.
I read a story a while ago that I got quite interested in.
I can't continue the game. It crashed. Okay, that's gonna be all for this stream. Thanks for coming. The next stream should be on Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. It should be a continuation of Final Fantasy. I'm sorry for sleeping through yesterday's stream. I blame Mountain Daylight Time because I actually woke up where 4 p.m. would have been. Anyways. And if you're on the Twitch side, feel free to hang out on the YouTube side. And if you're on the YouTube side, feel free to hang out on the Twitch side. Yep, that's all I'm gonna say.